Let's Chit Chat UK. This is the right space to explore real-life issues affecting real people. We provide professional counseling to individuals, couples, organization, schools, church, and others. Follow, share, subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Let's Chit Chat UK.
Hello everyone, we are back. This is Let's Chit Chat. I'm Pastor Cecile and Richards. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
You've done the honors, reporting for duty. One more time, apologies for last week. I did get a chance to listen to the show. Very interesting. Well done to you and Brother Enoch. Looking forward to tonight's session. And I'll say no more.
You're looking forward for tonight's session?
Oui, madam. Excuse me, let me just, I've got a cough sweet in my mouth. And I want to make sure that it's all guns blazing and full attention with my teeth and my gums. Excuse-moi.
All right. Well,
I've got
tonight's topic is again brilliant. This is a real space for real people and real issue. So this is a safe space where you can bring in any issue, any situation, any topic that you would like to discuss or you want us to discuss. We'll be very glad and happy to discuss it. So tonight's topic is, would you consider a polygamous a relationship?
Say it again.
Would you consider to be in a polygamous relationship? Would you consider to be, as a woman, would you consider to be in a marriage where your husband has another wife? So two of you in the same marriage.
Two or more.
Well, two or more. Yeah, it could be more.
If you can manage it.
Yeah, it could be 3 women, it could be 2 women, it could be 4, it could be 5, it could be more than that. Would you consider that kind of relationship? Would you give it a thought? Would you agree to it? And what would you make you find yourself in that position? So, Richard, what do you think as a man?
Well, let's not forget there is the converse angle, polyandry, whereby a woman such as your good self, I've got a red cup for your red hair tonight, and a woman can have 2 men, maybe more. So the boot can be put on the other foot. Now, speaking from a male perspective, general terms, and based off some vox pops I've been doing, general consensus, word on the street is that men in Western societies, in the UK, for example, may favor or may agree to polygamy being a good idea, practicable, workable, compared to women. That's the opening salvo. I'm not going to say if I think it's a great idea, but it certainly does have its pros and cons, and we're going to be exploring that this evening. So maybe I could have a lady with blue hair, and a lady with red hair.
That's brilliant. So did you just said that the word of the street said men would consider, or men will think that it's good in this society to actually be in a polygamous relationship or marriage?
Absolutely. The key thing would be, I'll give you 2 examples, or 2 key factors. They do say that a man's dream is to be with more than one woman.
Oh, okay.
That's one.
Is it your dream or men's dream? As a man, do you also have that dream, or do you have that fantasy? Or
we're gonna explore that. I can see that you're looking to shoot a little bit on the belt, if not below the belt. But I'm ready for you tonight. That's all good, and I like the feistiness in you. It goes with your hair, suits you, ma'am. Personally, I would find it a challenging situation to be married to one woman and have another woman tantamount to being married to. However, the general point, and the general point, where men would feel at ease potentially, as well as the woman, is about consent and maturity. It needs consenting adults, a mature mind where everyone is reading from the same book, singing from the same hymn sheet. My main contention why it would be difficult for it to work is jealousy. That old green-eyed monster, jealousy, would come surely into the equation at some juncture, at some point for them, for either of the women. If it was me or a man having, for example, two women, at some point, Easter comes up, Christmas time comes up. I want to spend the morning. Oh, it's agreed. It's agreed. Remember, consent. It's agreed that I'll spend the morning with you, Sister Cecile, from 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. And then I'm going to spend taking that traveling time. So let's call it 4:30. And this is where it could get tricky. 4:30. And yeah.
Let's carry on.
Oh, you're in spanking great shape tonight. Wonderful. Oh, yes. So at some point, would humanity kick in? Would the human side, the emotional side of, you know what? It's Christmas time. You know what? It's Easter Sunday. I would like to really spend the entire day with, or my birthday, when any given time, I'd like to spend the whole day with my partner, with Richard. The other person may that same year or another year say, you know what? I know that we've agreed to share and take the shift work, but I'd like him all to myself for this day. So loneliness can be beaten because you're going to have company, both of you, all three are going to be in company. But that half during that shift where you don't have any work on and you're preparing the meal, or you're preparing breakfast, you're preparing dinner, and I am not there, or the man is not there, you could be technically lonely at some point. It's going to be a juicy subject, juicy topic. Finances. I mean, I'm not even gonna. We'll come on to that. What say you? What say you?
What do I say about that? Wow.
And I've got a big point where we're going to come in, where we've got the church in the UK. We know there's a great imbalance. There's a great imbalance. So many women in the church and not as many men to go around.
On the road, one panel, not just in the church, everywhere. So anyway, you asked me what I think about it. I just saw a video before I give you my view. I saw a video literally about a month ago or so, and the video was from Cameroon. I will send that video from Cameroon. A man who was marrying two women, and that was it was one of the the first time I've seen it. It was on the same day at the registry office. So it was on the same day. He was marrying the two women on the same day at the registry office. So he did the vow with one and repeated the same vow with the other one. Then when they say, you now can kiss the brides. So he kissed one first, then he kissed the other one after. Then he got to the stage where they have to dance. You know, there's always a dance at some point at the registry before they get out of the registry. So he got to the stage where they have to dance. So he was not dancing with one, and it's like facing one dancing. The other one was kind of like on the side dancing. So you can see then the second wife came in and kind of like interfered on the dance with the other one to say, okay, hold on, it's the two of us here. Don't seem to forget that you are actually marrying the two of us at the same time. So we all have to have equal attention. And many people who turn up for the wedding, you could see the laughter and people were laughing, and I was there. I was very amazed because I'm coming from a polygamous house. My dad married a lot of women, I would say that. So I'm a product of that. But I haven't seen it when it's happening on the same day at the same time. So that was a bit strange to me, and it was a bit heavy for me to understand why would a woman put herself in that position that the day you're getting married should be a special day, and you want to be getting married with another woman at the same time on the same day with the same man.
Well, you're touching a question, and you've just given me revelation. Then I didn't know your background in with regards to your father and mother, or mothers. Very very interesting. Here's my question. And with regards to the example you've just given regarding the gentleman marrying two women on the day, jealousy. Is it easily avoidable? Is it inevitable? How do women in that situation deal with jealousy?
It's not avoidable. It's not evitable. It's something that is constant. It's on the hour, on the minute, on the second, on the day, on the week, on the month, on the year. So it's not avoidable. It's as constant as you can see, or
inevitable.
As constant as you can breathe. So it cannot be avoided. It's something that is there, because women are naturally jealous. Men are also jealous, I would say that. But women are naturally jealous, and they're jealous with the big things and the small things. But when it comes to sharing the same man with another woman, it goes to the extent where it's devious, it's hard to cope with, it's hard to understand, it's corny, it's tricky. Some women are very bitter, some are very angry, some are, so it brings in all sorts of feelings, and again, they are not always good feelings in people. So that is a very harsh situation to be in for any man, not just for those women, for any man.
Well, today we're looking at that's a very good answer, interesting answer, very honest answer. If we look at polygamy and polygamous relationships working and in the context of this country, the West, England, Britain, for example, and even microscoping it into church settings, for example. I've spoken to a few people in church, a handful, let's be honest, a handful. It's a bit of a taboo topic, but the ones who are mature enough to deal with it, I've heard both male and female say that it could work, but men would probably find it easier because they have less hang-ups. From what you're suggesting, that could be the case. And from a female perspective, there are so many single women who are praying for a husband, looking for a relationship somehow. And if they're not going to be involved in a relationship, do they, for the remainder of their natural lives, remain single, yearning for a relationship? If you have a polygamous situation where consenting, this is the key word, consenting adults come to the agreement that this thing can work, we want it to work, and we're going to endeavor to make it work. It's not being foisted upon us. Do you think that would change the dynamics somewhat?
I do think I've seen in America where some priest or some pastor married so many women on the consensual from what they said, but you can really see that these women were not really consenting. They were kind of like dragged into it in the name of whatever. But a woman praying for a marriage or to be married, it doesn't mean that she's praying for a polygamous marriage, or it doesn't mean that she's ready to enter one because she definitely hasn't found a man who can be her own man and she's actually ready to enter into a polygamous relationship just for the sake of being married. So that is really not relevant or no zone. But then a woman can say at the beginning, oh, it's going to work, and a man can say, oh, it's going to work, because they're just still at the beginning stage where they haven't seen the practicality, they haven't seen the reality of it, the reality of life, they haven't seen the issues of life, or they haven't faced those issues that will come afterward. You know, anything that you enter at the beginning, it looks sweet, it sounds good, it sounds practical, but when then you start facing the truth, the reality of day-to-day living in that situation, then you realize that it's a bit more than just saying let's consent, let's agree, let's be free of us in one relationship, because it takes a lot more than that. It's emotional, it's physical, it's spiritual, it's financial. It's just, there's a lot of angle to take into consideration in order for you to even consent. Like again, you said, for a man, at the beginning, it could look easier for a man at the beginning, but in an older age, it's not so much easy anymore, because the problems will kick in. And when a man is young, or they're still relatively at that age when they can handle anything or everything, they can always find their way through things and in and out. But when they become older, where going outside is no longer the escape route, there's no longer option to escape issue to go outside, you have to face them in the house. Where they're there, they must be in the house maybe 24/7. Then they realize that, okay, this thing is a bit more than what I envisage. I don't know if that makes sense, because if you're able to go outside, you have two women in, you're able to go to work, you don't really live with those women on an hour to hour, minute to minute, so you can escape and go out and come back and deal with situation as they arrive. But if you're there 24/7, because retirement has kicked in, not much to do outside, then you start realizing that it's no longer a sweet melody.
You're jumping way down the line on two fronts. I mean, listen, from listening to what you initially said, those problems that could raise their heads in a polygamous relationship, undoubtedly raise their head in monogamous relationships. When you think it starts out, how many relationships start out leading to going to the altar? That sometimes is the highlight. That's the pinnacle of a marriage. When you actually get married, the woman looks fantastic, the man looks fantastic, and some would say it could be downhill from there. So there are similarities, but here's where potential differences could come into the fray, and into the frame, should I say. I've watched a few videos prior to this session, and there was one very interesting, very honest, candid gentleman who was being interviewed by a lady about his polygamous relationship. And one of the things he said, very striking, he said that it makes a man, certainly him, again, it's not for everyone, not everyone's cup of tea, let's be clear. It would be great to see what people out there listening and looking on make of this. But for some men involved in a polygamous relationship, that can actually be the making of them. They've got to be not only on their P's and Q's, but they've really got to be tuned in. Be prepared to be empathetic. Be prepared to be present, attentive, and with really good intentions. They've got to be able to have the capability to reflect on themselves and who they are and who they can be and how they're perceived in the eyes of others, namely their two other partners. And that makes them a better man. They know how to wine and dine a lady. They know how to debate and discuss and communicate. They become better listeners. They know how to dress because they're receiving compliments. It's a fascinating route, this old polygamous this situation, you know. What say you to that?
What stops them being all these things when they marry to one woman? What stops them?
Because it's just one. Because it is just the one. You can duck and dive with the one. You can duck and dive with the one. You can go to work and come back. You might get a little argy-bargy, darling. Can you make me a cup of tea? Oh, what? You're near the kitchen. Why don't you make it? Hold on a minute. Yeah. The next day you go and check the other lady, and you know, could I have a cup of tea? I'm dying for a cup of. Oh, are you? I wish I'm dying for one as well. I'll tell you what. You put the kettle on, and I'll turn on the TV, and we'll sit down and we'll chill out. Different strokes for different folks. Approaches, the tone, the intonation, the mannerism. You can learn so much. There's so much give and take. I mean, at a very basic level, I thought that comment that you learn how to be more appreciative. And conversely, the ladies also want to be seen as potentially, if not the better, they want to present the best of themselves, because they don't want to be the grump known as Mrs. Grumpy, while the other lady is Miss Wonderful. No, you want to be, yeah. So there's a little,
so that competition. We have Pastor Enoch on board tonight. He's watching. He's not able to enter. He just commented that most people that in the 21st century, this is what he said, most people in the 21st century enter such a relationship at times they enter out of curiosity. So some people will enter out of curiosity, not because they really have thoughts or wait the consequences that can come after. So curiosity will make them enter such a relationship. I would say that it's not a good relationship to enter, because as a man, you consider by your joy that you potentially getting, like you say, nice cup of tea, nice, warm, friendly atmosphere and chats and all. Have you considered about the children that will come on board? Have you considered about the battle, the fight? Everyone wants to achieve. Everyone wants to be successful. Everyone wants to be the favorite. Everyone wants to be given equal attention, or even more so, more attention. People thinking you have left me to that woman, or you have left me to that woman's children. Have you thought about their children's education, their stability? What are you telling them? Because with you as a man, it could be very much easier. You are polygamous, you have two wives or two women or even three women. You are entertained as you like, but the relationship is not entertaining for other people, because they're investing physically, they're investing morally, they're investing probably spiritually, and they want to be equally receive affections as a whole, as if there's no one else in that relationship. It's just them.
Here's the key: as if. Well, it's not necessarily and literally a case of pretending otherwise. There are more than two people in the relationship, but when you are in the bedroom, when you are in the living room, when you are in the kitchen, when you are out at the cinema or you're out at a restaurant, it's just the two of you. Maybe because it's consenting and consensual, there may be opportunities, lo and behold, for three in a social setting. Why not three of you go to the cinema? Three of you go to dinner. Three of you enjoy a night watching Netflix. The three of you enjoying a chit chat and chewing over the fat of the land. How's your week been? Three brains are better than one. Three brains, dare I say it, and three minds are better than two. You can actually approach problems and issues and manage to tackle them and overcome them together, jointly. Isn't that possible?
I don't think it's possible, because human beings are naturally, like my son is saying, human beings are naturally jealous. So, and again, human beings are always looking for something that they don't have or something that they want to discover. So you're going to see the man, he can possibly not be loving two women the same way. There's going to be something that will bring him more to one or be in tune with one more than the other one. And obviously the other wife will definitely know that my husband loves this other woman more than he loves me. So that is the center of problem, because you can definitely not love two people equally the same way.
How do you know how would you know how the man is treating both partners? This is what I said again. It's about maturity and a consensual situation. For example, look, you are different to my wife in certain ways, and yet similar to my wife in certain ways. I have other female friends who are similar and yet different. I have male friends who are different and yet similar. And the relationships we have, we're not robots. It's not identical. It's not like me pressing a button on a TV and press number 1 for channel 1 and press number 4 for channel 4 and press channel 5 for channel 5. No, there's going to be nuances and differences. I like one person because they're really social and they're friendly and you can go out and mingle. I like another person because they are the homely type. I like another person because they're argumentative, but they're willing to listen and engage and argue and debate and interact. And I like another one because they're very quiet and sensual. I like another person because they're physical. It's horses for courses sometimes, and everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, their good points, their bad points, their indifference points. None of us are quintessentially perfect, far from it. We don't want to have exact replicas by way of relationships in this particular given situation. Now, I think I've answered that fairly, because make no mistake, I'm not expecting, and I'll put the boot on the other foot, Sister Cecile. If you were going to take me on board and Brother Enoch, for example, as husbands, I wouldn't be expecting the way you interact and engage with me to be identical, an identikit relationship on all given levels with as how you would engage with Brother Enoch. No way would I be jealous. Why should I be? I can only be me. I can maybe work on some of my weaknesses and bring them up. I can expand on my strengths based on what I like and what you're feeding back to me. Oh, Richard, I like this about you. I like this about. Great. I'm not so sure about these kind of things, but I'll live with you on that. No problem at all. We're different people. This is how we've been created. Now, I want to pick up on something. Let me give you this scenario. Brother Enoch, I hope you're listening. Subscribers, followers.
He definitely.
Listen, yes.
Can I just answer what you just said? Something. We have Karin on board tonight, and we have been seeing couples practicing polygamy, calling themselves sisters' wives. Some of the women have been doing that. I want to pick on the point what you just said earlier on.
It takes all kinds. It takes all kinds. There's polygamy going on in different guises at this moment as we speak. Go ahead, pick up on it, and we'll pick up on our
yes, go ahead. What you said. You said you have many friends and they have many skills or abilities or characters. Behavior, but all those friends, you're not deep into the relationship with them. You're not in physical relationship with them. You're not spending your emotions are not attached to them. So therefore, you can easily level that kind of relationship, because we are all different. But we actually talking about a relationship where you will be physically involved with the person as well as morally, financially. So it's not just about, oh, this one is my friend, she's sociable, this one is quiet, this one is friendly, this one is touchy, this one is that. No, it's a lot more than the level ground. So you are a lot more deep into these two women. And remember, you as a man, you might enjoy the relationship because obviously a man who has two women, you enjoy potentially thinking that you enjoy the relationship. But these women are battling to win the heart of that man. The two women are battling. Each one of them wants to be the one that the man loves more, the one that has his heart, the one that has his mind, the one
They've got the heart. They've got the heart. They've got the heart of the man already.
The one that he thinks of. No share heart, no share plan, no share finance.
No, Sister Cecile. Sister Cecile, please.
Listening.
Well, you I know you're multitasking, but listening, you must listen in. Now,
you've been talking. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Oh, you're a beautiful lady. You're a beautiful lady. I could well entertain that. Anyway, now back to that word, consenting, consensual, and mutual. When you have the triangle, that is a triangle. The triangle is set. It's there in place. I'm not looking to turn it on its head and turn it into a square or a round circle or an oval shape. No, it's a triangle. We are all in it together in one way or another. Now, you have different shapes when it comes to triangles. You can have equilateral or you can have different sized triangles. Now, let me paint this scenario. Sister Karine, listen carefully. I'm sure you're out there and you could say, amen to that. And your good self, Sister Cecile. Brother Enoch, I know that you're going to be tuning. I can see that smile from afar. Look here. You have the brother deciding to marry one lady. But the arrangement also includes the third lady, because both the ladies liked Brother Enoch, for example. But Brother Enoch has decided to commit to Sister Cecile on a certain level. Now, check out this arrangement. We know that the other sister loved Brother Enoch, really liked him, loved him, and Brother Enoch had feelings for her. He's not going to leave her abandoned and alone. He agrees, with your permission, to slip her a £30, £40 towards a hairdo. He agrees to go and visit her on a Friday or a Saturday afternoon for companionship and company. He is happy to text her and call her 3 times, 4 times for the week. He's happy to go around and watch TV and arrange to go out, once a month to catch a movie.
All those things, yeah. Carry on.
All right. So that agreement and that arrangement means that it's a different type of relationship, but the relationship is still there. It's a polygamous type relationship, but you and Brother Enoch will spend most of your time together. You live together, but Brother Enoch will find himself around the sister's house, everything above board, because she would prefer that. Oh, Brother Enoch, thank you so much for providing. It's not easy being a single parent, and you're putting that £40 in my hand towards my hairdo. You're putting some money towards my rent. You're putting some money towards my child's school kit. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful? And Brother Enoch still loves Sister Cecile ever so much, and everyone's a winner.
Okay, that's fine. Richard,
right.
I understand what you very said. Oh, we have Sister Andrea. She sent hello, hello to all of us. So she sent hello. This is a Sister Andrea.
Greetings, Sister. Greetings, Sister Andrea.
Our topic today is about polygamous. Will you agree to be in a polygamous relationship? Pastor Enoch just said that Richard's relationship, Mr. Richard, dealing with friends, is completely different to dealing with an intimate relationship. In a way, you said you have so many friends and this one is that, so it's telling you that dealing with friends is very different to dealing with intimacy. Now, you just explained about a sister who potentially, how can I put it, she's on the guard. She's on the guard because she's not in the equation. She's not officially in the relationship, but she's actually a part of the relationship. Because if you are married and then you have a sister who is by herself, you are happy to, from time to time, visiting her often enough, putting money on her hands for her hair due, taking her to cinema, buying some food and getting some clothes, possibly maybe even getting her underwear, who knows, getting her whatever she wants. So obviously you are sharing your husband, you are sharing your wife with that woman. So obviously it is a relationship, it's a threesome. How I put it, it's a free some relationship because she's not out of your life, she's very much in your life.
Polygamous style.
Yeah, she's a polygamous style. It might not be officially with a marital certificate, but she's actually officially in your life because
Could you? Yes.
Same way you are contributing towards your wife upkeeping is the same way you're contributing towards her upkeeping, although she's not official or acknowledged openly, but she's in the background. She plays the same role as your wife.
Could you see this happening and working?
Well, I've seen a lot of relationship like that. To be honest with you, I've seen a lot of relationship like that. To me, I feel the other woman who is not in the back, who is in the background, who is not open, she has really decided to put herself in that position to be in the background and to still be with that man who is officially with somebody else, but she's playing that role in the background. So obviously, to me, she's in a way wasting her life because that man, you cannot see him whenever you like. You cannot call him whenever you like. He cannot be around you or solving your issues whenever they arrive, or whenever you have a problem, you cannot have him because he has priority. The wife is a priority. If he has children, his children are priority. So he finds space for you, or he finds time for you whenever he is free or available. So you're always going to be second in line all the time. You're always going to be second in line all the time. You're always going to be the one who has to wait all the time because his priority is elsewhere.
You're not keen on seconds.
So you have actually agreed to put yourself in that position. So to me, it's a position of worry. It's a position of stress. It's a position of setback. It's a position where you're uncertain. You're never certain because at any time, at any minute, anything can happen. And that man is not even yours because the minute he finds the next good things or the next thing that looks better than you, or he thinks looks better than you, he's going to leave you probably without goodbye and move to the next thing that
well, let me put
around.
Listen, let me just check this. That's a very good point you raised. Pros and cons there. Some people would agree, some people may not agree. Now, there was another video that I was watching where a black brother was expressing and candidly talking about how the relationship works with himself and two women. And one of the points he made, another very interesting point, was regarding the matter of commitment. In his mind, and in the mind of these two women who were on a more of an equal level in terms of a footing, should I say, in terms of the dynamic and what they agreed between themselves as a polygamous family. Commitment was very strong. In fact, the gentleman suggested that commitment and the prospects of relationships lasting longer in polygamous relationships such as his was far higher than if it was a monogamous relationship. because the commitment is there, because the man has taken and put effort, time, mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually into both women. That means a lot, and it's a lot of energy. And to kick that aside for one or both of them, no, he'd be letting himself down and both of them down. What say you to that? That was quite an eye opener.
Yeah,
because men walk out of relationships, don't they? Women walk out of relationships, men walk out of relationships in monogamous relationships. Check the stats.
Yeah, that is a very good opinion. Before I answer that, Sister Andrea has just said that there are many women, many people who don't know that they're in that kind of relationship, meaning that there are many women out there who are in that polygamous relationship, but they don't know because it hasn't been declared to them. And
my goodness me.
Sister Karen is also saying that at least the other woman knows that she's in the position. So the one that who is illegally married knows that she's in the position, but the other one is not in any position. I'm coming back to the question that you just asked now. Now, any polygamous relationship tends to last longer compared to just a monogamous relationship, because men will tend to give up on one wife quickly, than because some men are not too much committed. They find it easier to give up and move on to the next woman. They find it harder to deal with issues or deal with situations. But men who are in polygamous relationship, they tend to be a lot more responsible. Let me put it that way. Some of them are a lot more responsible compared to a man who has one wife. Those who have two wives, because they're trying to accommodate this big family that they have gathered. They have two women, so they always thinking of what to do next to improve the situation in the house, the home situation, the wife situation, the children's situation. Well, a man who is married to one wife tends to think, oh, you're asking too much of me. Oh, you want me to be there all the time. You're taking me as who is the man here. So a man who is married to one wife tend to trying to demonstrate that I'm the man here. You need to listen to me. You need to keep quiet. You need to do this. But a man who is married or potentially has two women is more responsible, because he carries a lot more responsibility. Just like the Bible says, who much is given, much is required. So much is required of him. So he's not dedicated or committed in these two wives to work. While a man who has one wife, because he has a girlfriend outside, so he's neither honest with the wife in the house nor honest with the girlfriend outside or the other partner that he has potentially left somewhere.
Which is one of the reasons, which is one of the great reasons, isn't it, why a polygamous relationship could work, where it's not the background situation, but the woman, the one who was meant to be quote unquote in the background, now is in the foreground. It's up front. It's up front, and all three parties know what the score is.
Yeah,
so that's a very good point. So, going forward, if rather than hiding under, in the shadows, you say, no, this is what it is. The sister there, she cared for me. She really liked me, and I liked her. And I'm not going to leave her because I don't know if she's going to find another partner. She doesn't find it likely that she's going to find anyone anytime soon. But if this arrangement between the three of us as consenting adults can work, in church or out of church, if this can work going forward, is this not possible? And I can't let this opportunity go past without asking you to bring forth some more of the flavor of what polygamous relationships bring. Can you give us a potted pros and cons, the good and bads of polygamous relationships, Sister Cecile? Because you come from one. Please do, because I'm fascinated, as many out there are. What's it like?
I'm going to bring that point in a minute, but you just said something that I want to comment before I come back to your question, which
I always fascinate you, don't I?
Which Sister Karen has also commented how convenient. That's what my face was like when you were talking. You were just saying earlier on that, oh, it looks like as if she's not going to find a man. I don't want to leave her like that. She's not a charity case. She is not your charity case to say that it looks like she's not going to find a man. I don't want to abandon her. I don't want to leave her. I want to be with her. No, that woman is not a charity case. It's not a. So how convenient. You are worried about not finding another man, or you're worrying about, or you are
no,
with two women.
No. Listen, let me tell you something.
Now, let me go to the question that you asked before I forget. I was just commenting on what you said. So now I'm going to the question that you just asked. Exactly, you said, am I going to leave her there? It looks like she's not going to find any man. Is she your charity case? No, she's not. So let's move on. You asked me earlier on that to bring the flavor of a polygamous relationship, the pros and cons.
Oui, madame.
I would say that I don't see many pros, to be honest with you.
Wow.
As far as I stand, I don't really see many pros in that relationship, because I'm coming from one. I didn't see many pro. Maybe because I have a lot of half sister and a lot of half brother, so I didn't need to look for friends outside. But then that is the situation that I was born in. So I didn't know better. I was born in. I was born, when you say born in, you are born in a relationship, so you don't know anything different. So you only act according to what you have found. So there's no many pro good part of it, because by the time you born, if you find those who are already older than you, it's a fight, it's a battle, it's argumentative. Everyone is seeking for their father's love or acceptance, or you're seeking to be the favorite. If something is given to somebody and is not given to you, then you question why it's not given to me. So good explanation has to be given to you why you are not treated the same way as the next child or the next one. But when you're from the same mother, that argument will not come often enough. But if you are just from the same father with different mother, that argument is there. Then the mothers are fighting, just like the mothers of Jesus Christ disciple went to him and they're fighting for position for their sons. The mothers are always fighting for, my children have to be the best, my children have to be more educated, my children have to get more employment, my children have to be secure in the inheritance. What are you leaving to my children? So it's like the fight is, what is this man living? So people are not, the women are not looking at, this man is alive, let's enjoy him, he's alive. They are thinking automatically, he's going to die, I need to know what I'm getting. I need to go on and know what my children are getting. I need to, so it's like, it's a battle. So there's no many pro in that situation or in that environment. I don't know if that makes sense. Do you have another question or comment?
No. That makes sense.
We have a dear viewer. She said these arrangements are normal. We have Sister Martin. She's Brother Martin. Brother Martin. Sorry, I'm sorry. Welcome. Thank you so much, Brother Martin. Sister Mami Fosu, God bless you so much for listening to us. We have Brother Martin. Brother Martin said these arrangements are normal in other parts of the world. Some African Christian countries and Muslim countries are, they have this practice. They still exist up to today. And he also stated that pro includes financial. So he's talking about the financial part of it, emotional and social, which we have already discussed, benefits. And he said it helps to prevent and reduce loneliness. He helps to prevent loneliness for single women who wants stability. Brother Martin, are you for real? Single woman who wants stability, he says it helps to reduce loneliness. And he also says that also in countries where this practice are normal, like Sierra Leone, the husband is expected to treat all wives equally. One is not meant to be favorite over the other one. So
wonderful.
This is
wonderful
view, that if this practice is legal in whatever country like Sierra Leone, the man should treat the two wives equally. But at the same time, I will say that the two wives are not going to treat the man equally. The two wives are not going to treat the children equally, because every wife will want their child to succeed. Everyone will want their child to be the one that is well provided. Every wife will want to be the one that is well presented, or more giving attention from the husband.
Why couldn't that be? Why couldn't that be attainable?
How will you measure fairness? How will you measure fairness when you are in that relationship? So, Richard, as well as Brother Martin, you are talking about loneliness, how this will help the woman not to be lonely, or the other wife not to be lonely. So you are looking at the benefits, moral, they are together. But how do you measure? Sister Karen is asking, how do you measure fairness if you are to treat these two wives equally? Like Brother Martin is saying that you have to treat them both the same. So how will you know that you're treating both of them the same? Will you go and buy them the same cloth in the market, looking the same pair of shoes, looking the same color hair, the same lipstick, the same kind of bra, which is the same price? How will you do that? Richard, tell me.
I hope you're hearing me. I'm hearing some feedback. Are you hearing me loud and clear?
I'm hearing you very well now. Yeah, thank you.
That's wonderful. No problem at all. Well, it alludes, and I'm going to point you back to something we said earlier. Relationships are not identikits. We are not, I repeat, not robots. The qualities, the strengths, the weaknesses, the indifferences that we bring to each relationship that we find ourselves in differ. The key is the dynamics between any two given parties at any particular given time. If I am spending time with you, Sister Cecile, and I know that you enjoy conversation, you enjoy listening to Brother Rich's voice, you enjoy listening to sermons on air, over the radio, on internet, you enjoy going out every so often, I'm going to ensure that I am providing that for you. And conversely, you're providing the feedback and the input that you, with your quintessential qualities, have for me. And then also parallel with yourself, I have a relationship with my other wife. And the qualities she's bringing to the party, I fully respect, love, adore, will nurture, and vice versa, what she sees in me. Likewise, we're going to be edifying, strengthening. I'm not going to be bringing what you want into the relationship with my other wife.
Okay,
that's unfair. No.
Can
Am
I
I
ask, can I,
right?
can I ask you a question? Before I ask you a question, Sister Karen is asking, is there alcohol in your mug? you seem to be. Is there alcohol in those mug, not two mugs that you have there? Do you have alcohol in there? Because we are not too sure what's going on. But
This is a concoction of
nevertheless, we are talking
grapefruit
about
and
polygamous.
Lucozade.
So we are talking about polygamous relationship. How convenient it is would you consider being in any polygamous relationship? Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Let's take the practicality. Typical evening. We have to be practical. Typical evening. You are coming from work. Maybe your two wives are coming from work, or perhaps not coming from work. They're at home in the evening. Practicality. Every woman would want to be with their man in the evening. Or every man will want to be with their woman in the evening at home. So how will you share this evening with these two women? 1 minute you're there, the next minute you're there, half an hour you're there, or the half an hour, the other half the other you're there, or you're going to split the evening. I'm with you 3 days a week, I'm with you 3 nights a week. And what about the loneliness? Brother Martin was saying there's going to be a reduction on loneliness. What about the loneliness when you leave this other woman to that other one? So potentially she's sleeping knowing that, oh, my husband next door, he is just with this other woman. Now, how damaging is that to that woman? Because you are causing emotional stress to that woman, because obviously she will be in bed picturing you with that other woman in bed. And by the time you come to her, she's not going to be too sure if she's competing with whatever has happened in the next room or the next door. So it's going to be a state of competition all the time. Brother Martin just text a comment. Let me read it to you. The Bible says we are to study our wife. We are to study our wife. This, and it says this supports the fact that each wife would not need the same cloth to be bought for them. Okay. So each wife will not need the same cloth to be bought for them, but each wife you need to know that you are spending the same amount of money on them to the other one, not less, not more, exactly equally share the same. That is one thing. So let's go back to your typical evening. How will you speak that with your two women?
Beautifully. Delightfully.
I said that.
Wonderfully. That's how I would endeavor to spend my evening.
You don't have an answer.
With both my waists.
That is not an answer.
With my wives.
That's not an answer.
You ask me the question. Ask me the question again.
Specific. How will you share a typical evening with your two wives? Specific.
Specifically, I will share it wonderfully well, delightfully well, presently well, with a spirit of being attentive, committed, interested.
Richard,
let me tell you something. You've got that flowing red hair. You've got that flowing red hair, and you need to move. If you just because I can see some water. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. But there's a little wetness behind the ears. I can see. I'm picking up some wetness behind the ears.
You're not able to answer my question. I said,
I can answer it with the greatest of ease. I'm answering it with the greatest of ease. You just need to tune into the frequency. Look here. There's many a video I've watched, again, in my research, where when you check with these women, these lovely wives, they're asked straight up, how do you feel knowing that your husband is spending the night, is spending an evening with another woman, the other wife? How do you feel? Don't you feel bad? Sometimes, but really, not really. Really, because I know that he loves me. I know he loves her and she loves him. And not only that, it comes back to this word maturity. They know it's a given fact that the man is committed to the relationships. The women are committed to the relationships, and they are, I almost said hell bent, but I don't want to be sent to the damn places. But they are absolutely determined, in as much as humanly possible, given jealousies that arise, that old green-eyed monster, they want to continue in a caring relationship, a sharing relationship, a loving relationship, a mature relationship. So we pointed to this earlier. In polygamous relationships, oftentimes a man is seen to be more committed to these relationships because of the time, the energy, the emotion on many levels that he's putting in. He's got to be financially responsible. He's got to be emotionally responsible.
Okay.
He can't be slipping.
Can I just give you
and I want to put it on the foot, because I'm speaking up for many of the men who would put their hands up for a polygamous relationship.
Before you
remember, it's not the majority of men. I want to find out, would a sister like you or other women, would you be as magnanimous in terms of dealing with two husbands? Could they expect the same treatment that I'm putting to you, that men would willingly offer to provide?
Before I answer that, I just want to give you a feedback or comment from Brother Martin. He's saying there should be it should be a little or no jealousy expected in the arrangement. So little or no jealousy expected in the arrangement. The typical evening should be planned, arranged beforehand. So that's Brother Martin's option. And he's saying maturity should play, like you said, maturity should play an act in all circumstances. So I will come back to
This brother Martin sounds like a wise brother.
Because
I can see that you're not coming back on him, and with good reason. He's speaking sense. Go ahead.
He's agreeing with you that man should have could possibly handle two wives. Fair enough. That's your opinion. You find it all good, and that's fine. But still, nevertheless, I will still say that polygamous relationship is not good. It's not good morally, is not good physically, is not good spiritually, is not stable. Although the man could easily find his maturity, a man could easily be stable, because obviously men's nature is to be seeking for more than one wife. So
say that, I beg your pardon. Can you say that?
Well, men's nature are always, lots of men are always looking for more than one wife. The man not get two wives, but a wife at home and a girlfriend outside. So is their nature or is their lifestyle to fall into that kind of situation? So
and you want to fight against nature. Look here, I want the answer to the one that I put to you. Please.
Okay. You put an answer.
How would a sister handle a couple of blokes?
Okay.
AKA husbands.
To be honest with you, I'm speaking for me. I'm not speaking for any other woman out there. I'm speaking for me, and
I'm looking into your eyes,
and I might be standing a gap for the other women out there also. I will say it would be difficult for a woman to handle two men. That's me. That's
figuratively speaking.
Maybe I'm old-fashioned. I don't know, But to me, it is unlikely. It's difficult. It will be hard because women are emotionally giving a lot in the relationship. As a woman, you give a lot emotionally, you give a lot physically, you give a lot mentally. So it'd be very difficult for you as a woman to share yourself emotionally with two men. One is already enough for you to handle, and you find yourself going crazy when things are not working. But two of them, it will be very difficult. That means you have to really be detached to yourself or to them as a woman. That's the only way you can manage that, because women are very they're full of emotion. So I don't really think I don't successfully think that a woman can easily handle two relationships or two men successfully. It's going to be a disaster. It's going to be emotionless. It's going to be I don't envisage it. I don't see how it will work. But as for men, men have been handling 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 women, married to few at the same time. So they do have the ability men do have the ability to handle many women at the same time, but at the same time, it's damaging to those women, it's damaging to the children, it's not stable, it's not good.
Is it necessarily damaging to the children? I saw programs where the man introduces and the wives introduce their children and speak of their children, and it's a positive tale. They gather round for birthdays, for dinners on a daily basis, as the case may be, and all the children know each other. The wives know each other. They know the arrangement. It's mutual. It's consensual. It's loving. The children aren't left to their own devices, or one child is given more attention than the other. They're given appropriate attention. They have their needs met. And again, similar to what we were alluding to with regards to the man and the two women, and investing so much time in each other that the man learns how to be a better man. And conversely, the women, sometimes by putting 3 heads together, realize and learn how to engage in conversations, how to avoid conflicts, how to avoid arguments, how to get over petty differences. Because there is a healthy dynamic where if you wind up annoy hubby starts to get vexed and annoy mama, he might just put a spoke in the planning, in the waterworks, and beg his pardon and go and spend a couple of quality hours elsewhere
with the other
with his
one.
other wife.
So it comes to straight, isn't it? It comes to straight where sometimes you don't behave because you have to behave. It's because you are worried about what might potentially happen next. Brother Martin has given a few good comments there. Here, if I like to just read them, he says he has heard of a man who has 3 wives and has 7 children with each one of them. And then he says, no wife has more than or less. No wife will have more or less. Then he said King David in the Bible and King Solomon, and as well as Isaac and Abraham in the Bible, they are the model, role model, had more than one, they have more than one wife. And we actually follow in the Bible and we know the stories about them having more than one wife. So he's bringing that point.
He's giving you a Bible.
Yeah,
he's giving you a Bible.
So then he said polygamy is not for every woman, which is quite right. It's definitely not for every woman, but there are these who would be happy. There are women. I completely agree with that, Brother Martin. It's not for every woman, but some women will be definitely happy being in that situation, and other women will be horrified to be in that situation. Polygamous relationships are not only about sex, he said. Sometimes they're not always about sex. It's just about companionship. They are, like Brother Martin says, there are women who are happy to be in a polygamous relationship. There are also women who are not happy to be in that relationship. It depends on how you can handle yourself, handle your emotion, handle your needs. So it boils down to individual preferences. Would you put yourself into a relationship where you know that you're always going to be worried all the time, you're always going to be stressed all the time, you're always going to be insecure all the time because there's a third party in that relationship?
Is that what you're saying?
You're always going to be insecure all the time because there's a third party or a second party, let's say third party in that relationship.
Is that what you're saying?
Is what I'm saying. I'm speaking as a woman, so I'm speaking for every other woman out there who I know they would not want to be in that position.
I'd be very careful.
Are you always
putting words into every woman's mouth? Some women
will
be feeling exactly what you're speaking, but there are other women, and it is to those other women that we need to take heed, be empathetic, and be aware that this polygamous setup above board, not in the shadows, can conceivably work. Given consent, it can conceivably work, and rather being down in the dumps, you have the assurity and the certainty that the man is going to be supporting you financially in a way arranged, is happy, willing, ready, and able to visit of an evening and watch some TV. Chew the fat. How's your week been at work? You know what? How important and how beautiful it is to hear someone say, "How's your week been? How's your week been?" And you kick back and let her speak. You know how much that can mean to that partner. Do you know how much that means? The alternative is to be sitting down, eating your ice cream, eating your goodness knows what, your Doritos.
Let me put it that way.
And crying yourself to sleep.
Our time is closely spent, but let me put it that way. I'm just going to comment on what you said. It will be good to have it above board, where both parties know that this is a polygamous relationship. So every party knows. So that way, proper arrangement can be set. Proper discussion can go on, so there's no neglect on one part or the other part. But when it reaches stage where that arrangement is not, that plan is not open, that situation is hidden, definitely there's hurt, there's neglect, there's there's insecurity, there's problem when it's not properly set, when it's not properly sorted, when it's
Let's get these things in place.
When it's not clear, when it's not arranged, when it's hidden, when it's pushed behind. It exists, but it's pushed behind. It pretends as if it's not there. So that is where there's a big problem. If it's there, let it be open, let it be clear. This is a situation. This is what's happening. Let's sort it out. Let's discuss it. But if it's hidden in the background, then you are only causing harm to the person who is hidden in the background, even more harm to the person who is also in the open, because they are hurt that you're deceiving them, you are lying to them, you're not being honest, you're not telling them the truth. Probably they can start thinking that you don't love them, while you probably do love them. So it brings in all sorts of problems. So again, like you said, there are many women who will agree to be in that situation. There are many men also who will facilitate or who do facilitate that. There are also many women who don't want to be in that environment. Richard, we are going to round up very, very soon. Your final words or advice or opinion, comment on polygamous relationship.
I've learned plenty in my research and from this evening, a delightful evening. I thought polygamous relationships were dead, in the water, of no relevance in 21st century Britain, England. But upon discussion, reflection, I think this could be a way forward. Marrying, pardon the pun, our natural male instincts and the better instincts of the fairer, I say fairer, sex. Sister Cecile, one and all, I salute. I wish you peace, love, and good upfront relationships.
Karin just asked, is there alcohol in these cups of yours? But I reserve my opinion. I reserve my comment. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Martin. Thank you so much, Sister Karin. Thank you so much, Sister Andrea. Thank you so much for everyone who has followed us tonight. Thank you. We are ever so grateful. So to conclude tonight, polygamous can certainly work for some if it's properly arranged, if it's honest, if it's based on really proper care. It can work. It will be sad to have it going on and the other person doesn't know. One knows and the other one doesn't know, so it's not fair on the person who's kept in the dark. At the same time, there are many women who will not want to be in any polygamous relationship. Let's respect it and let's agree to it. There are others who also think it can possibly work or is working for them. There are some people that is definitely working at the moment, whom they are seeing all the positivity and the good part of it, and they are very happy with it. We cannot judge as long as you are happy with any partner that you are with or any relationship that you find yourself. The main thing is to be happy, is to be at peace, and is to be loved, and it's also love. If polygamous relationship is the thing for you, then good luck, carry on making it work. If it's not for you, then also find your man who's going to be for you and you alone. Thank you so much for following us, listening to us. Please, until next time, next week, please share, follow, and subscribe. Richard is a monogamous man, is not a polygamous man, so don't look at him. He's just talking too much. He's a man with one wife, one lover.
One
lover.
One as in wonderful.
Let's Chit Chat UK live stream. Hey, I'm Pastor Cecile Abba, a counselor by profession from Let's Chit Chat UK. This is the right space to explore real-life issues affecting real people. We provide professional counseling to individuals, couples, organizations,